Today, we're on our way to Barentsburg.
Having a beer, staring at that. Now that's pretty epic.
So let's brave these Arctic waters and insane waves while dressed in every layer of clothing I own
Because it's really wet today.
and discover a secret gem in the Arctic. But first, we have to get there.
You're just gonna be drippy because it's drippy here. Look at this, we have floating baby glacier. And then in front of us, the blue glacier is the oldest part because things that have been compressed a long time are blue. Very large baby glacier. I think we're gonna catch a baby glacier. Are you going to catch a baby glacier? Oh, we've acquired a glacier. If he didn't want to get caught, he should have stayed on the rock. Glacier aboard! Baby glacier. What? Okay, we've come inside after we've caught our baby glacier. We have baby glacier in a cup. Cheers, baby glacier!
And I drank baby glacier for a bit, and then we went to brave the Arctic waters again. And while we're sailing to Barentsburg, why don't you hit that like button and subscribe? This channel is still not monetized yet, and I'd love to get there one day. Thanks!
Ooh, it's warm right here. Okay. We're approaching the town of Barentsburg.
The town was established by the Dutch, but then sold to the USSR and turned into a closed town.
And I'm very excited to go explore it. Let's go.
Closed towns were fully funded by the USSR, and people were supplied with all of the necessities, allegedly, in exchange for their hard work. While the rest of the USSR was deep in famine and poor housing conditions, closed towns, allegedly, were the nicest places to be in terms of economic conditions throughout the Soviet Union. Unlike Longyearbyen, who was a summer home to seasoned mill mining workers, Barentsburg was built to be an actual city. In true Soviet form, she was purpose-built in the most efficient way. There were schools, hospitals, shops, bars, apartments, hotels, and of course, a statue of Vladimir Lenin. After the fall of the Soviet Union, only the mine remained working with a small set of employees. Now, the thriving metropolis is just 200 people.
So there are two ways to get to the town. Number one, the stairs. Number two, this truck. Number three, this van. I have a feeling we're gonna go on the van. Minibus. Hi. There's so many cool things already. Down here, we see a beautiful little boat and an Arctic fox.
Arctic foxes are a rare sighting in Barentsburg because the sound of the mine scares them away, but we saw one.
On these garbage cans, we have Soviet mosaics. They're so Soviet mosaic in my hand. Okay, now what I want to show you though is this. Now take a look at it. Like, it used to run, it used to do cool stuff on the water, and they ended up just decommissioning it and leaving it here for kids to play with because it took so much fuel to run. It wasn't efficient. Look at all that stuff inside there. This is amazing. And these flappers would have helped guide the boat to wherever it was going. Soviet engineering. Engineering is cool no matter what country you come from. It's pretty awesome. Okay, let me tell you the story of this building. This used to be the old canteen. Back in the Soviet Union days, everyone would eat for free here. You would just pop on in, eat whatever you wanted to. And that was one of the things that the Soviet Union was promising its people. Equality for everybody. So right now, as you can see, it's derelict and I would like to explore it, but we can't. So they're thinking about restoring it into some sort of a scientific center, which I think is pretty cool, you know, from Soviet Union to scientific center. Look at this cool painting. We're gonna look in the puerta. I'll be right though. It's not abierto at all. Here we have a really cool memorial to something that happened in 1948. Okay, let's go check out this doorway. So this building was operational until 2004. And then it shut down as like the rest of the Cold War and that sort of stuff was ending. No entry. But I would like to. Okay, so down here we have the first two buildings, as I fall over into them. First two buildings that were built here in Barentsburg. They were built here in like Lego brick. So they floated on a boat over in actual pieces and they came up together pretty quickly. Now there are plans to restore it, but Barentsburg runs on the same funds that are funded by the Russian government. And those funds have to take care of all of these houses of the port and of the mine. So the reason the mine exists is that back in 1920, whenever Norway signed that huge treaty after World War I saying, hey, we want to be the sovereign government, everyone agreed. And they were like, okay, if you're gonna be part of here, you must mine coal. This is the 1920s when we didn't care about the earth and planet. Now we do. So today, the mine is still operational. This wall that you can see here was the original Dutch concrete wall that was put up to help like barricade the coal before it would go on that little yellow crane and boink, plop onto a boat in the ocean. Today though, really it's just coal to power this town and to power a pyramid in. There's so many activities in this town, you guys. So, well, there's a big red polar bear on this restaurant. It's a really great English. A really great question to ask, are there polar bears in this town? And the answer is no. And it's because how they designed the town. So on one end, we have the mine that generates noise. On the other side, there's a massive dog kennel. And polar bears don't like noise. So between the dogs generating noise and the mine, there's really no reason for polar bears to be here. They're also a little bit lazy, and we're kind of on a hillside, and they don't like walking up and down mountains, as you can see, hillsides by this beautiful 1950s type building. We are approaching the school. And basically, the miners would bring in their families. So unlike in Longyearbyen, where it was just the miners going, no, here, the Russian people really wanted to have a settlement and build it and grow. And so they built a school right across the street from a hospital that we can see ahead of us. Here there was also something, but it was demolished because the building was derelict, and because the USSR was all about having a purpose-built city and everything near where you needed to be, this would have had some relation to do with the school and the hospital. On the bottom floor, this is where the younger kids would have gone, and on the bottom floor we have mammals, we have whales, we have birds, where you learn the basics of life. Well, on the top floor, we have great buildings. We have great buildings of Norway, of Bergen, of like great cathedrals and churches from Moscow, from St. Petersburg. And that's where the older kids would have gone to school to study more of the classics and the literature. Right across, of course, from the hospital. Okay, check out this truck. Polar bear, polar ice. This is very cool equipment. Okay, now right here is a hotel. And if you want to stay here overnight for a couple of nights, you can do that. Like there's some ferries that come between Longyearbyen and Barentsburg enough where you could just hang out in this super awesome hotel, chill in this town and explore the old mine. And I see a very red door. Look at this red door. Is the puerta abierto? Why is there a door? Where will we go? Puerta cerrado. Puerta cerrado. Okay. Well then, let's go see what else we can find. Wow, look at that view. Over here you can see the old mine and where miners currently live and they used to live, and all sorts of supplies. See, in the winter the ships really don't come up here very much. In fact, if this place gets iced in, they have to call in like icebreaker ships from Norway to come in and break the ice so the Russian ships can come and deliver goods. So you have to save, you have to preserve, you have to reuse. And I don't know what this is that we're looking at, but I think it's very beautiful. Part of the old mine. This is beautiful, and it looks like in this building, they do some research of some sort. It's a perfect place to do research. Look at this activity. This is cool. Okay, I've left my guide group, but I want to show you something. Look at this. All sorts of old stuff in this really oldish part. What is this? Like an old mining shed? Let's walk around over here. Look at how amazing this is. It's like, I don't know, lost in the past. It smells like coal and gasoline around here. You can see this lock is super old. I wonder what they would have kept inside there. I wonder what is still inside there. Like, it's an active shed, but like back in the day, what would it have been? Maybe something to keep the elements off these oil barrels? Okay, so before the war happened, this building used to be the epicenter of the town. See, Barentsburg and Longyearbyen would compete in competitions once a year. Which town was the best at basketball, at football, at swimming, at chess? Well, this town was the best at chess. Those competitions haven't been going on since, well, the war started. But when it stops, they are ready to go compete again. Well, in chess for sure. So now we are walking up Lennin Avenue. The star that we see on the hill in front of us, it means peace to the world. While this is kind of forbidden in other parts of the world, here it also represents summer because that mountain is covered with snow in the winter. In front of us, we see one of the most notorious leaders that we have in the world, Mr. Vladimir Lenin. Now, there's a bunch of statues in every Russian city to Mr. Lenin, mostly, but he's not buried. His body is in a mausoleum in Red Square. So yeah, that's kind of weird. He's been dead for like 100 years, and his body is, I wonder if it's decomposing. Another sign in front of us. What it says is, the goal is communism. This whole place was built to start to populate the Northern Isles. That's our time here in Barentsburg. Statue of Mr. Lenin. Like, subscribe, and see you next time. Because we're going somewhere even cooler that I can't wait to take you. Ciao.
Don't be bad, don't be cruel. Don't treat people like they're your tools. People were meant to be loved and things to be used. You made a mess, Mr. Lenin left so many confused. From promises spoken to hearts that you broke. What started with dreams ended up as a joke. So don't be a tyrant and don't play it mean. The world's meant for love, not some ruthless machine.